Hello guys, I'm back with another Commander game. This time I'm playing a super budget Dralnu list I threw together. This guy seems like he has a fun ability to just play some black and blue control, but definitely a very budget deck. After playing a few games with it, I think I'll probably put it on the back burner until I do decide to invest a little bit of money into it, because a lot of the cards are just very sad to play with. And you see, my opponent's playing a General Tazri deck, so probably just ally tribal, which isn't a great deck in general, but neither am I, so it could get pretty scary. So I see this hand, I decide it's pretty good, I can keep this hand for sure. And he keeps his as well. Plays a City of Brass and passes. And I just run out of land. I decided to go Swamp instead of Island, because for whatever reason I decided keeping Geth's Verdict up was probably better than Counterspell here. It was a pretty sort of not informed decision, I just did it on a whim. Got Ancient Tomb, starting to have some painful lands over there, but should be able to cast all his spells. Mana Vault. So he's way ahead as far as lands go at this point, which is kind of scary. And he's able to just run out Tazri, so it ends up paying off that I left Geth's Verdict up, but I mean on the flip side I also could have just countered this, so it's not a huge deal. In fact, that probably would have been better because he wouldn't have been able to tutor. But it is what it is. I'll just cast Geth's Verdict. And I'll pass the turn back to me. Draw a Dissipate for turn. So I drop a tapped land and run Everflowing Chalice out. He plays Bala Ged, so this card kind of just pick apart your hand. When he casts it, I have to reveal the number of cards in my hand equal to the number of allies he controls, and I get to pick the card. And then he makes me discard one. So no matter how many allies you have, I'm only ever discarding one, but he will get more options. So at this point I decide just feel a swamp. I probably have plenty of time to get more lands. And I didn't really want to lose any of these cards. Here you can see an example of a card that I think is just kind of crap in this deck. But, you know, it is what it is. I decided to just play out Dralnu here and pass. Take some damage off Mana Vault. And runs out Munda, Ambush Leader. So this guy is just sort of a tutor, sort of, for allies. You play him out, you get to look at your top few cards and put an ally into your hand. It does have haste, and it does, combat-wise, match up poorly with, or Dralnu matches up poorly with it, so this time I think I revealed Icequake and Dissipate to him, and he made me discard Dissipate. This one's living for 3. I draw a land for turn, and cast Siligmar's Command. He actually Cyclonic Riffs Dralnu in response, which I guess is fine tempo-wise. Definitely could be worse. So I end up bouncing Munda and killing Bala Ged. And he just runs out Tazri again, and tutors for Tuk Tuk Scraper, so this guy, when it comes into play, he can destroy an artifact. If he does damage to me equal to the number of allies he controls. So, probably going to lose Chalice here. Not the end of the world, though. I don't have any other artifacts he'll be killing. So I decided to just cast Dralnu again. At this point I realize he's taking a ton of damage just all from his mana base. I mean, he's all the way down to 19, I haven't attacked him once. Plays out Teferi. It's a very strong Planeswalker. But I do have this Silimar's command in my graveyard, so hoping I'll be able to cast that, kill Teferi, and do something else with it, depending on what he does. And he just recasts Munda. And Tuk Tuk. And he'll blow up my Chalice, and I will take 3 damage. And he'll get in. Surprised he didn't attack with this guy. I guess he figured he was getting low and wanted to be able to start blocking. So I'll just play out a land. I'll give Silimar's command flashback and cast it, destroy his planeswalker, and Tuk Tuk. This is something I could have done on his turn potentially, but I figure this way he doesn't get to use Teferi one more time. And he takes a bunch more damage from his mana base and casts Resolute Blade Master. So this is when he starts putting on a clock. Whenever he casts an ally, it gets double strike along with all his other ones. So he gets in for a good amount of damage right here. And then he copies it. So he has 2 of them now. I don't know if that's the ally I would have copied, but not the end of the world. So I see he's getting low. I decided to just run this out there. Either he's going to have to sack a creature or just lose 4 life. Either way works for me. And he does decide to just lose 4 life. And at this point, I flashback Geth's Verdict, make him sack a creature. Figure he's just going to sack one of the Blade Masters, but is what it is. Again, this is something I could wait to do on his turn, but Dralnu doesn't really do combat well because of the first part of his ability. I don't really want to start sacking my permanents. Life's definitely getting low, but based on what he has in play, I can survive. And I know this is what he has in hand and 1 unknown card, so because the odds of that 1 unknown card killing me are pretty low. Plus, if he does attack with everything and fails to kill me, then he's leaving himself open to getting killed with Dralnu and Tyrant's Choice, which is kind of what I'm playing towards right now. Like, my game plan is to burn him out with that card. And he helps me out, takes a bunch more damage off his lands. Casts this guy. Whenever it comes into play, or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, you put a 2/2 wolf creature into play. If you do, you put a counter on him. I'll just counter this though. I don't want all his guys getting double strike again, for obvious reasons. He just has to hold back with Munda, so I can't attack. I draw a Diabolic Tutor. Not really sure what I'd get with it. So I end up just Ice Quaking his command tower, hoping that it'll force him to use pain lands a little bit more. We'll see what happens. Diabolic Tutoring there was probably correct, but I don't really know this deck list well enough to go look for things, so that's definitely what I should have done though. Like, pretty much undoubtedly. He thinks about untapping Mana Vault there, decides not to. And just attacks with these guys. I take it, and he passes it right back. So this turn I end up casting Diabolic Tutor. I want to cast Tyrant's Choice, but he's just not quite low enough yet. And if I do it, then he'll be able to just untap Mana Vault at his upkeep so he doesn't take damage from that. Although, looking at his mana base, that would just kill him. So that was probably the correct play. I completely missed it at the time. But I ended up just grabbing a Cyclonic Rift. I figured I'll bounce one of his attackers and keep me alive. At this point, the combat math is getting really close, though, depending on what he has in his hand. So he takes the 1, and at this point, if he doesn't kill me now, he's dead on his turn. So he tracks this Arid Mesa, City of Grass, At this point, it doesn't really matter what damage he takes, because again, if he can't kill me here, he's dead to Tyrant's Choice. So he casts this guy, hoping to give his allies double strike and be able to attack. That would be lethal. So I respond by bouncing his Resolute whatever. So his creatures don't get double strike. He will no longer have lethal. So he is dead. And he knows that and scoops. So again, as an afterthought, I see that if I, instead of tutoring that past turn, if I just flashback Tyrant's Choice, he would have been dead to mana vault his upkeep because it would have put him at 1 life. Unless he untapped it, but in order to untap it, he would have had to tap City of Grass or Ancient Team, which still would have resulted in him dying. So, no. Either way, I ended up coming out with a win, but definitely could have been a little bit safer. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I probably won't be putting out any other videos of this deck soon, just because it's really not much fun. I think after this game I end up losing like 5 games in a row. But maybe if I update it a little bit. If you guys have any card suggestions, let me know. He does seem like a fun control commander. That combat clause is a little awkward, especially if your opponent's burning him or anything, but we'll see. I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you guys next time.